So this is another 1881 recipe, but it's sweet potato pie, and I couldn't wait to try this one either. Let me read the recipe to you and then we'll get started. It says 2 pounds of potatoes will make 2 pies. I'm only making one. Boil the potatoes soft. Peel and mash fine through a colander while hot. 1 tablespoon of butter to be mashed into the potato. Take 5 eggs and beat the yolks and whites separate. And add 1 gill of milk. And I believe a gill is what? 4 ounces or something like that. It says sweeten to taste. So you're going to have to, just use your better judgment. Well, I'm going to have to. And it says squeeze the juice of 1 orange and grate 1/2 of the peel into the liquid. 1/2 teaspoon of salt into the potatoes. Have only 1 crust and that at the bottom of the plate. Okay, so just 1 at the bottom of the plate. And then it says bake quickly. So we're going to do the best that we can do. Okay, let's get started. I'm using ready to bake pie crust. You get it in the cooler section. And you just lay it in your dish. And the excess is hanging over, you fold it under and just pinch the sides. And there you have it. But you can't forget to poke the holes in the bottom and around the sides to prevent bubbles. And if you did that before, then you know what I'm talking about. So make sure you do that. Just like that. Okay, now here I have a pretty small orange. And we're going to grate that orange to get some of that zest off. And this one's pretty soft too. And then we're going to slice it and get some of that juice out. It's up to you how much. But just remember that zest is pretty potent. It can get really strong. So I wouldn't use too much if I were you. Unless you're just a real orange lover. We're just going to put this in a little dish. Well, that's a little measuring glass. I'm going to set that aside until we need it. And like I said, we're going to slice this and get some of the juice out. This one doesn't have any seeds. I expected it to have seeds. That's why I got the strainer, but it doesn't. But we don't want a lot of pulp in it either. Any if possible. Whoa. Splattered everywhere. This is going to be one messy video. How rich that juice looks. It's going to be some good pie, y'all. Okay, I baked my potato on 400 until it was nice and soft. See that? I'm going to peel this off. I think it keeps it keeps the flavor when you bake it. That's in my opinion. When you boil it and you look at the water, it's kind of orange because it's boiled a lot of the flavor out. So this is what I like to do. We're going to have to, do our own little thing. I'm going to try to follow hers to the best of my ability. Get on over in there. It's one of those days in the kitchen. You see what a mess I'm making today? That's pretty much it. Let's see. And yes, that's hot. Now she said use a sieve. I'm going to use my ricer. This is a messy, messy thing. Let me get up a spoon. Scooch over. Let's try to get it in there. And it pulls those strings out, so that's good too. You see that? You don't have to keep on using your mixer. Go in 3 or 4 times to try to get all the strings. That looked like it got most of them. Okay. See? I like that. I like that. I never thought to do that. Look here. I'm going to run that through again. Sorry, can you see? There you go. And this is, I love to do this with my mashed potatoes too. I don't do it all the time. But if you want really silky smooth mashed potatoes, get your ricer. Look at that. Come on, you go through there one more time for me. Run it through one more time. I'm going to try not to make this video forever. I don't like making long videos. So I don't want to bore you. Or me either. There we go. I think that's going to do it. For that right there. I went on ahead and added 2/3 cup of sugar, but add as much as you like. I've added 4 tablespoons of butter, a teaspoon of vanilla, as much as you like. Did she say cinnamon? 2 ounces of heavy cream, and about 3 ounces of that orange juice, and the orange zest. And that's a couple more tablespoons for those with a sweet tooth. Now we're going to beat those egg yolks. And we're also going to beat those egg whites until they're fluffy. And into the egg whites, I added just a little sprinkle dink of sugar and some vanilla flavor. That's delicious. One more time. That's so good. The sugar that I used already. Yep, that's a little bit more. Remember, you have to add to your taste. Add in the egg yolks. Let's get that mixed up in there. I went on ahead and I added in the egg yolks, the egg whites. See how nice and fluffy they are? But try not to stir. Just try to take your time and just fold them in. Just get it in there. Just don't use it like that. Don't use a real circular motion. Just try to get it in there. Be gentle because you don't want to break the egg whites. That's what makes it fluffy. See? That makes your pies fluffy. Cakes too. What a beautiful color. I think you're gonna love this one. And remember, I didn't add no nutmeg. I didn't add any cinnamon. I didn't add any cloves, any ginger, any of those things. This is just gonna be strictly an orange sweet potato pie. So I baked that pie crust for 11 minutes. I always bake my pie crust first. I hate to bite into a doughy pie, right? Doughy. Let's get it in there. This mixture is beautiful too. Let me see. Maybe I did just enough for one. And wasn't that just a perfect amount? Perfect. Gonna hit it just a couple times just to get the air bubbles out. And we're gonna go into the oven on 350 for about 55 minutes to an hour until everything is nice and brown. I'm gonna bake this for 45 minutes to an hour. We'll see. So we're gonna need some heavy whipping cream with this, right? With that pie, yeah, we are. Here's what I'm gonna do. Just some heavy whipping cream, just a little bit. We're not gonna need a bunch. I'm gonna add a little bit of vanilla, just a little bit. I don't need that much. That's it. And just a little bit of sugar. We're gonna whip this. You don't want to hear that noise. A little bit more. And you don't want to go too long because then you'll have butter. Okay. Let me just show you. And then I'm going to wrap it up and put it in the fridge until our pie is ready. Okay? And that took about 2, maybe 3 minutes. That's it. Okay, I baked this for 55 minutes. And you see how it's nice and swollen. I'm going to let it sit and let it settle down. And then we'll cut it and taste it. I meant let it cool off. I also meant to tell you that. I meant to tell you that when you take it out, it's gonna have a little jiggle. You want it to have just a little jiggle. And then as it settles, your pie will tighten up. But we're gonna go ahead and let it cool down. See how it's settled? It's still kind of warm, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to give it a slice. You know, it's always best to let it cool for a few hours so it'll slice nicely and come out nicely, because that could be the problem. Hold on, trying to get it out, because the first piece is always the hardest piece to get out. Did okay with that. So it's still kind of hot. That's why it's still kind of soft. But you can see. See here. I'm just going to add a little bit. Clean this up a little bit. A little bit of this whipped cream, remember, that we made? I'm gonna give it a little taste. Just a little. It's good. Still warm though. But that's good. You know, sometimes you want something a little different. Well, at least I do. And maybe you can surprise them this Thanksgiving with this one. And see if they even notice. They notice there's no cinnamon, no nutmeg. Or maybe some of the other things that you add in, your different spices. Orange sweet potato pie, that's what we're gonna call it. good.